What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer, and welcome back to another LEGO Overwatch merch review. This time I'm going to be reviewing the set Reinhardt and D.Va. Now this set, at the time of me recording, isn't out just yet in most countries. I think you can actually get it in like Germany and France. I read that somewhere. I don't know if it's true or not. But anyways, the only reason I have this set at this point in time is because Blizzard and the LEGO company were kind enough to actually send me an early set, which is fantastic. Thank you to them. And on top of that, they also sent me this special edition Golden Gun Tracer. That is very, very cool. If you haven't seen it already, I did a live unboxing video of me opening it and seeing that they had sent me the set, and so if you're interested, you can check that out through the card on screen. But anyways, in this video, I'm going to get right into reviewing the set itself. And to start, let's look at Reinhardt. So here we can see Reinhardt. Let's bring him in for a close-up. He is incredibly beefy. I can barely even fit him in the whole camera frame. This is him right here. He, of course, has two arms, which do move. He's got fingers, which can be manipulated a bit. Let me get a close-up there. Can move those, and the arm looks like that. Shoulders. Big old shoulder armor plates, which I love, look fantastic. They did such a good job of that. And in this arm, of course, he has his mighty hammer, rocket hammer. Very ridiculous, but very, very cool. And you can, of course, remove that right from his hand. And you can put that in his other hand as well. They both have the same sort of clips right there that let you attach it. The hammer actually has a separate feature, which I'll be showing you in just a second. But let's take one last look at Reinhardt. You can kind of adjust his armor a bit in a few places. Kind of cool. His legs, you can do all sorts of crazy things. You can do all kinds of great poses with them. I don't know, you can get creative. I'm sure people will find awesome, clever ways to pose him. And look at the back, he does have his back thruster. Cannot be good for his back to have that. Anyways, otherwise, you get some of these sort of like underside of tile pieces there, which doesn't look that fancy, but you're mainly going to have them shown off from the front, so that's what you're going to see. Now, as some of you may know, if you've seen this set online or somewhere, you know that it also comes with a Reinhardt minifigure. Where is the Reinhardt minifigure? There. Whoops. There he is. That is right. The Reinhardt mech, even though it's not really a mech in game, it's just a suit of armor. The Reinhardt suit uses minifig Reinhardt's head as its head, which, given the ridiculous proportions of the suit relative to the minifigure, like that's way bigger than it is in game. It actually looks pretty decent with just his head in the armor. Let's try to get that in just again real quick. I mean, it's really beefy armor with a relatively small helmet as is in game, so I was amazed to see how well that actually works. Anyways, though, let's put him, the suit at least, over to the side and take a close-up at Reinhardt himself. Let me make sure he's like that. There you go. This is actually a really, really cool minifigure. And you haven't even seen a lot of it yet. Off comes his helmet. There's his visor. Backside. Whoop. Looks like we've got a double face. Let me get this lined up. There we go. And he even comes with hair. So you can have him without his armor, or without the helmet. He still has the armor on. I guess you could get a different minifig torso and just swap it out, make him look like he's in his, what is he wearing? Like some kind of simple outfit in the Honor and Glory short. We see him at the beginning and the end. But yeah, there he is. Oh, speaking of the Honor and Glory short, it also comes with a little Overwatch coin. Just like he has in the short, which is so cool. It's such a small little addition, but I'm so glad they added that. Anyways, if you recall, I did mention that the hammer has an added function, which I didn't realize this. In the instructions, it shows it removing. It's like, oh, you can remove that. And then he has a mini hammer. I think actually it tells you to readjust that as well. Yeah, that's what it shows. So you can have minifig Reinhardt and he still has a hammer. I love that. It's so great. Such a cool minifigure, and the mech slash suit of armor. It's more like a mech in the Lego version. You can just kind of sit him in there. It's actually a bit hard to get him in. His arms are up, so it's not going to go down all the way, but I think they actually did a really fantastic job with this suit of armor. I'll touch on it a bit more towards the end, but now let's switch over to D.Va. Alright, now this is probably the model that most of you guys are going to be interested in checking out, which is D.Va's mech. And I gotta say, first impression, when I first saw the images of it, I wasn't that impressed. And now that I have my hands on it, unfortunately, I'm a little more impressed, but not tremendously. Granted, D.Va's mech is a very difficult design to go for because it has a ton of curves in the whole shape of the mech, especially the main body part. And Lego and curves don't go along very well. So I understand how difficult it must have been to design this mech. And I think they did a great job for what it's worth, but I don't know. It doesn't come out as good as Reinhardt, but I'll talk about more of that at the end, the actual final thoughts. Looking at the front, you of course can see D.Va herself inside the mech, and of course, the cockpit opens up like that, and she slides away because she doesn't want to come out. You even get little joysticks there, which are like the double barrel guns, like pistols. I thought that was a really cool use of those as joysticks, or whatever you'd want to call them. Put D.Va on the side, I'll look at her a little bit later. You get these sort of fusion blasters on the front, which I think these actually came out really well, the way they sort of like curved those. See, the curves work well there. It does alright. And of course, it is a stud shooter. You can get the good angle on that. Pew! Thankfully, I didn't lose it. Stud shooters are easy to lose. And yeah, I think the front actually looks decent enough. The sort of like bunny ears on the top, I don't know, kind of a wonky design. Also, the cockpit is way too narrow. It should be wider than that in the actual mech. They did, of course, get the little core cap. Like, we know that opens up to show like the core of the mech itself. That's how self-destruct works. And of course, they put the little bunny detail design on it, which is great. The legs, again, I think the legs actually came out really well. The way they sort of bend like that does a good job of replicating how the mech actually looks in-game. And of course, you can move that around, you can twist those, goes in and out like that. Yeah, it's good. And of course, there are the side thrusters, which you can kind of fluctuate the wings. Those pop off, but they don't really move. And now we get to the back. The back is unfortunately probably the least impressive part of this mech. It does actually open though. Bonus points for actually opening it, so you can actually put D.Va in. Like she actually gets in and out. Yeah, so at least they went for that. But other than that, yeah, that's not what the back of D.Va's mech looks like. It's a bit more egg-shaped. It's not just like flat down with like the little bump of this coming out. They definitely skimped on the designing the back, which again, you're not really going to be looking at it much from the back if you're displaying it. And if you're a kid playing with it, probably aren't going to care that much. So it definitely is passable. I wouldn't say it's a bad model because of that, but it's definitely something that maybe could have been improved. But at the same time, as I said, it's a difficult thing to replicate in Lego. So they worked with what they had. And of course you do get the boosters right there. And it doesn't have quite as much posability in its legs as the Reinhardt suit of armor. You do get some nice posability with the guns though, the fusion blasters on the front. And of course they do shoot. But now let's take a close-up look at D.Va. This is D.Va right here. Winky face. She does also come with her little light pistol, bunny blaster, whatever you want to call it. It's just like the new like blaster base without anything added onto it, which actually kind of surprised me. I would have thought they would have gone for a I don't know, some extra detail to give it a bit more shape. If you really want, you can just take one of the extra stud shooter studs and put it at the end and boom, just a little bit more like an actual gun for pretend play or posing it, whatever you want. But like Reinhardt, she does have a reversible face, and on the other side we get her chewing some bubblegum. Get that to focus a bit. There you go. Also, I'll show your back printing as well. There you go. Hopefully that focuses. Yeah. I kind of wish, you know, the one face is the bubblegum, the other one has her winking. I wish there was also like a neutral face of her just like smiling without doing a facial emote, a more generic expression. I don't know, not the biggest deal, just a little thing that I kind of would have liked. Maybe they'll include that in a future set where they include D.Va again, just with different faces, because of all the heroes in Overwatch, she probably has the biggest variety of possible facial expressions. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. This is the only set she comes in for the first wave of Overwatch sets, but we'll see what the future holds. Alright, so final thoughts. What do I think of this set? I think it's pretty great, to be honest. I mean, the Reinhardt suit of armor in particular, I think they did an amazing job of. The way that Reinhardt himself fits into it as if it's a mech is kind of silly and not accurate to the game, of course, but in terms of being like a play feature, it actually works pretty well. Honestly, it's a great way to have a full-size suit of armor Reinhardt and also be able to have a minifigure scale version of him as well. The hammer is awesome, the armor just looks great. The posability, not that much posability, but enough that you could actually play with it if you're treating it like a toy. So the Reinhardt suit of armor absolutely gets a thumbs up from me. D.Va, she's gonna score a little lower than Reinhardt. The figure, again, is great. As I said, I think it would have been nice to have some extra faces to use on her. The light pistol could have been maybe a bit more detailed. The mech itself, though, is unfortunately, I think, where the set falls the shortest. The overall design fits with D.Va's mech, but it's not like a perfect comparison, especially when you look at it from the backside. That's where it really kind of falls apart. And it's like, okay, this is a sort of brick-built version of it. But again, as I said, it's a difficult mech to replicate in LEGO, and I think they probably did the best they could with, you know, the amount of pieces they were willing to put into the set. And overall, it's definitely recognizable as D.Va's mech, which I think is what's most important. And of course, it's still a perfect toy if you're a kid and you want to play with it. So even the D.Va mech, while I don't think it's as great as the Reinhardt suit of armor, it definitely gets a thumbs up from me as well. I think these bigger brick-built heroes, as they are definitely going to be some of the stronger sets in the Overwatch lineup as is. Unfortunately, as I said, the other sets aren't out just yet. I will be doing reviews of them when they are released, but I definitely want to get my hands on some of the other sets that are more minifigure geared, like the Dorado one and the Watchpoint Gibraltar sets. Speaking of the brick-built heroes, I just want to bring in the Omnic Crisis Bastion, which I did review in a different video of mine. This is the other LEGO Overwatch set, which is currently available, and proportions-wise, oops, sorry, D.Va, he actually kind of fits. It's not exact, like, of course, you know, the proportions of all of these are a bit wonky, but in terms of, like, having Reinhardt and D.Va fighting a Bastion, especially if you got, like, a lot of Bastion sets and you want to have, like, a war going on, it's a reasonable size scale that you could easily pair them together with. So, if you want to set up your own Omnic Crisis situation, go for it. It works really well. Anyways, we're gonna, take him out for the final say. Alright. Overall, I do have to say that I do recommend this set. It's a very cool build for both of the models, and is a perfect thing to have displaying on your shelf or to play with if you're a kid and you're interested in playing with LEGO sets that look like your favorite heroes from Overwatch. The set isn't perfect, but its shortcomings are pretty minimal, and I gotta say, overall, again, absolutely recommend it if you're a tank main like me in particular, because some people are complaining like, oh, I want only Reinhardt or only D.Va, why do they have to be in the same set together? Me, I play all the tanks, so I'm like, heck yes, I want this set. And so, again, huge thanks to Blizzard and LEGO for actually sending me this early. And overall, yeah, definitely get it if you can. And whether or not you have gotten the set, maybe you're watching this after it's already been released, let me know in the comments down below what you think about it. Do you think it looks like a cool set, or is it one that you're gonna pass up on? Either way, thank you so much for watching, and be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and share it with a friend if you really liked it. Subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and turn on notifications to keep up with all my future Overwatch-related content. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, build yourself a hero, and have a great day.